Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today, we're going to answer a question from William Noble. He says, can you go into more detail or plan how you built the base for your Hex Beam? Be happy to do that. I didn't build it myself. A friend of mine, Mike Bergman, thought we needed something rather than just putting up that fairly heavy hex beam on a pole that would just sink into the ground. So we built a base for it. And I'm going to go over a couple pictures here of that and try and give you a good idea of what Mike put together and what we brainstormed and how it came out. And by the way, it's been operating absolutely flawlessly. Before we jump into that, I just want to show you a new toy I got. Got this yesterday. This is a GoPro Hero 7 Silver. Now, the reason I got this one is because, and I guess a lot of them do this, it will capture the GPS coordinates of where you've been, and then in the software that goes with it, I can put up on the screen my speed, position, elevation, what they call gauges on it. And of course, you can guess what I'm going to do with that. So let's turn to a few pictures about, two pictures of the Hex Beam and how it works. Okay, this is a picture that I took this afternoon looking out in the backyard. This is Mount Sneffels over here. In this part, this antenna right here is the MFJ-17754 trapped dipole, which I happened to have up when it snowed, and then we haven't seen the ground since. This is the Hex Beam. It's the MFJ-1846. Okay, here's the rotator right here, and I think Mike was thinking this might hold up that by itself, but this is just too big. So we went ahead and put guys in. These are rope guys, UV resistant guys, going down to 3-foot long stakes down here. And the base mount is also put in place with 4 of those 3-foot long stakes. The base mount is for one stick. This is means a single piece, uncut, of aluminum Schedule 40 pipe. Now, usually when you hear the term Schedule 40, it means plastic pipe, but this is actually aluminum, Schedule 40 with the same dimensions. It's very strong. The rotator is up here, and then there's a small piece there, and then we get to the actual antenna itself. Now, let's take a look a little bit more closely. This right here is the actual base. The base has a horizontal plate at the bottom, about a 1/4 inch thick. It's steel. It's got about, the whole thing is steel. It's got about 2 feet or 1.5 feet on each side, about a 1/4 inch thick, with 4 holes for 3-foot stakes to hold it to the ground. Now, if we were going to put a concrete base in here to hold this, I would put up some threads so that we could bolt the thing down, but it is just sitting down. You can just see one of the stakes sticking up above the snow. Now, there are 2 bolts on this to the pipe here. One is right here. This is 1/4 inch aluminum hardware. Here's another one, 1/4 inch aluminum hardware going all the way through. Now, the posts that you see here are not cylindrical. There's one on either side of the pipe, one on either side, and you can see them there, okay? And they are not quite square. I said 2-inch square. That's about 2 inch by 1 inch on the thing here, but boy, they are sturdy. There's a strengthening piece that's been welded across so these things won't twist on each other. You can see where the coax is coming up, and then something that was new to me, because I'd never had to do this before, a rotator control cable. Okay, so that goes up to the thing too. I actually only needed 3 wires in there, and they are 8. So I've got them wired 3, 3, and 2 together for the rotator control. Okay, and got these things bolted here. I think I have in here nylock bolts that hold this place. It is just not going to come apart. Now, the purpose of this thing was, of course, to allow this to tilt back, and we tilted it back. Thinking it over, I think we should have flipped this thing around so that this piece was on the other side so we could flip it back on this bolt. But we flipped it back using this as the axis right here, and then walked the antenna up when we got it up. Well, I had two of the guys already attached and measured on the ground when we walked it to the left here. When we walked it up, I just had the one guy that I took over to the 3-foot guy rod and put it in place there. So that gives you a good idea of what we have holding this thing up. It's proven to be very sturdy. This thing has been through some pretty high winds. There was one time when we had an ice storm, which is extremely rare down here, and that really brought everything kind of drooping down. But then it started, everything defrosted and popped back into place without any further question. If you're interested where the reference dipole is, the MFJ 2010, it's under the snow right here. Okay, so there you are. Now, I had planned this all out very carefully. In fact, if I look in my logbook for 26 July 2018, I've got this diagram in there showing the hex beam from the top. This is a plan view, so we could get everything right. And I actually did go out and measure everything very carefully because I knew this was going to be a difficult install. You couldn't throw this up slapdash because it was too heavy and too big and too dangerous to throw up slapdash. I knew it was too heavy for my usual 20-foot post, which is two 10-foot pieces of aluminum chain link, steel chain link fence top rail, okay, pushed together. That would not be anywhere near strong enough to hold up this hex beam. That's why I went down to the local metal reclamation facility, Reclametals it's called. They also have some new stuff there. And I went in there and I found a piece of Schedule 40 aluminum pipe. And that stuff's thick. It's the exact same dimensions as the plastic pipe of the same name, Schedule 40, except it's made of aluminum. It's not thinner walled or anything. It is thick walled. It is strong stuff there. So that's what I used for that. If I'd gone any higher than 20 feet, I think I would want to be talking a tower. But 20 feet seemed to do it just right. So there you go. There you have it. And I will be getting some airplane pictures with this little thing. It's brand new. Just got it at Best Buy up in Grand Junction yesterday. Very excited about it. The book on how to use it is heavier than the device itself. So I'll figure that out. But I guess I'm a GoPro guy here. I have an old GoPro Hero 2, but it's a little old. The battery's kind of flaky. And it doesn't have the nice features this one has for controlling when it turns on and off and things like that. Plus, this will do 4K video. I'm not going to do 4K video with it. I'm going to do HD video, which is 2K or 1080 by 1920. Because that's what I make my videos at. That's HD quality. That's what you'd normally watch in TV. So I think that will be just fine. I've noticed that very few people on YouTube publish 4K videos. There are a few, and I have a 4K screen, so I can see them. They're crystal clear. They're sharp. They're beautiful. But the problem is, it takes horrible bandwidth to transmit them. There really is very little 4K content available for use. But this can do it, and we'll play with it and see what we do. I think we'll have a lot of fun with that. So, thank you for tuning in for this Ask Dave video, and until we next meet, 73.